So 47 people are waiting right now.
Okay.
I can open you up right now.
I'm good to go when Chef is. Yep.
Okay.
No video. Welcome into Buff Sports Live for the first round of action between Colorado and Colorado State in these championship playoffs here at College Club Lacrosse Division I. We've got a great matchup. These two hated rivals were coming to you in a delayed fashion because we got a sudden rainstorm in Boulder. You know how it is as a Boulder native. My guy AJ on the call with me, AJ Galazzi, former Colorado Buffalo champion lacrosse player, as we watch Colorado score their first goal of the game. It is Ben Willows netting one to even the score at 1 apiece. We've got 11 minutes to go here in the first. Give us a little recap on what's happened so far while people have just found out as they get the video stream what's going on here in the first few minutes.
Yeah, so as you guys are joining us, 1-1, CU just nodded a goal with the deep shot. Ben Willows, as Jake mentioned. CSU had a pretty nice goal earlier, worked it to the backside, had a good 12-yard step down, buried it to the far side. Been pretty aggressive so far. Both teams riding, playing hard between the lines. Looked for some turnovers here early, and we'll kind of see how the offense plays from there.
And this is the second game of a doubleheader here in Colorado. The first game was Utah Valley and BYU. The winner of that came here to play Colorado, so we'll get that game later on in the week. And Utah Valley was able to squeak that one out 17-6, very squeak-out fashion against the BYU Cougars. Colorado with the ball on the left side. It's number 11, Tyler Bogart. He puts a shot on net, goes around. Rebound collected by Colorado. It's Curtis Zapala. Zapala works it around. They're back up towards the midfield line, and Liam Montgomery will rove around towards the left side of the net, working a pass around and picked up by Colorado. A lot of time left on the shot clock, and no problem again for Ben Willow, or Tyler Bogart this time, who is able to put it in the back of the net. You got to watch out for these Colorado strikers. They are able to score a lot of goals, and we were talking about it earlier with a couple of the parents. This is a game that you could end up with 20 in the back of the net if you're lucky, if you're Colorado with the talent they have up front.
Yeah, just an absolute heady play there by Bogarts. Errant pass from his teammate, trying to throw it back on a double team. Picks it up, realizes the defense is out of place, dives to the front of the cage and sticks it to the far pipe. You love to see that, and then that's kind of what you expect out of your seasoned offensive guys, to make the right play when the defense gives you opportunities.
In goal for Colorado State is the senior Frank Colhane. We've seen him here on this field a couple times before. Colorado's been, I think, the winner of every single game I've called against Colorado State here on this field, which is at least the last 5. Big hit as Colorado State enters Colorado's zone. Ball loose on the ground in front of the Buffalo's goalie, Jackson Mitchell, and it's picked up by Colorado State on the sidelines, but they lose it out of bounds because their man had stepped on the end line.
Yeah, the ties in Colorado changed a little bit as John Galvin brought in his second tenure. Unfortunately, Colorado State lost one of their best coaches, tenured one of the best coaches of all time, Alex Smith. Their program has never fully kind of bounced back after his loss. He's missed in Colorado, but CU is happy to win that rivalry.
Very aggressive play here by Jackson Mitchell, the goaltender, all the way up in the forward zone of the Colorado State Rams, and you see Bogart with the ball there on the near side. You're hearing the wind in the background. Like I said, sudden storm delayed the start of this broadcast, not the start of the game, however. Behind the net, it is Colorado with the ball. Again, Curtis Zapala will set up and pop right out in front and put it in the back of the net behind the Colorado State goaltender, and it's 3-1 off to a quick start for the Buffaloes. 9:31 to go in the first.
CU doing a great job of early offense, early transition. You keep your defensive middies on, go through a couple sets of motion, and then once things settle and you don't have a look right away, you get the offensive middies quickly on and attack right away. That's kind of a key signature of a John Galvin team there, and they capitalize on that.
Yeah, Buff seemingly having no real issues getting anything going offensively here. Like you said, the quick attack, right as it doesn't work around, they throw it back towards the front of the net, and it's gone in here early, and that's a good start for Colorado here with Colorado State playing on the road. They played last weekend up in Fort Collins. The Buffaloes were able to win that one as well. So I think one of the keys, especially now that Colorado's got a lead in this game, and you can speak to it as a former really good lacrosse player, AJ, is you don't start thinking about the next game early on here, and you don't approach this game thinking about the next game. You got to kind of know that Colorado State plays up both in a rivalry game and both a playoff situation, right?
Yeah, no, that's spot on. As a coach, the only game you care about is the one that you're in right now or the next one that's right in front of you about to play. And for CU, you want to see them keep the ball on offense because that's the strength of their team. So dominating at X, winning the ball, getting it back to themselves, that should keep them in a rhythm offensively so that they stay focused in the game. But to your point, if they start slipping and turning the ball over and getting lackadaisical, CSU will look to capitalize.
And you're seeing the possession right now from Colorado. Shot misses, but Buffalo's closest to it. 42 seconds still left on the shot clock. That's new this year if you're just tuning in for the playoffs. 80-second shot clocks as soon as the team picks up the ball, only resets if it hits a pipe or the goaltender. Really like that because we saw so many drawn-out possessions here in the past in this college lacrosse league. Near side, it is Tyler Bogart working towards the front of the net. Stopped there by the Colorado State goaltender, and there's the shot clock resetting as soon as he picks up the ball.
Yeah, the shot clock has been great for the game. You're seeing a lot more two-way middies. You're seeing a lot more players get involved. Games are less slow, a lot more scoring. And you get some stuff like this that you normally didn't see. Hard riding, trying to force turnovers or waste clock, and then the defense collapse in. Now they only have 60 seconds to capitalize, where without the shot clock, it was up to the ref's discretion.
And you kind of hinted around it. It's 20 seconds to get it over the midfield line, so almost like a 10-second violation in basketball. So you can sort of play a press with your offensive guys and your offensive midfielders to stop at the midfield line, rather where it was before it's like a half-hearted press. So the game has changed a little bit.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot more teams apply pressure off the save on what lacrosse the press is called the ride, and you're seeing teams trying to create chaos, force players to get uncomfortable and force a turnover, get them the ball back.
Colorado State on offense. They're just kind of dillying around on Colorado's zone behind the net right now. Freshman goalie for Colorado playing in one of his first big games. That's got to feel good for number 23 in net, Jackson Mitchell. He is from Castleview, went to Castleview from Castle Rock, Colorado.
Yeah, if I'm the CSU coach here going into this game, my strategy is hold the ball for as long as possible, get some good motion, and get a late shot, try to make their goalie work, and test their defense long possessions, keeping the ball out of Colorado's offensive end.
That was a nice hit there laid out by the goaltender. Jackson Mitchell has been very aggressive here early.
Yeah, as a coach, you don't always love to see that. The fans kind of enjoy it. You want your goalie, he's like your quarterback. You want him protected, safe at home. You don't want him going out there. But every once in a while, you got to lay the lumber.
Colorado State with the ball. Adam Elliott controlling it. He'll work it around to the far side. Rams in green and gold, obviously. Buffaloes in white with gray pants, black helmets. The Rams with their patented curly little Cam the Ram helmets. A little gimmicky, but, you know, they do what they do in Fort Collins. Colorado State picks up the ball around midfield. 47 seconds left on the shot clock. Plenty of time. Shot. Good save from the Colorado goaltender, Jackson Mitchell.
Savvy play by CSU to capitalize on CU's defense being out of position. Just not the best shot. On a shot, you always want to make your goalie work. At least throw it high or low, off pipe, trying to get the goalie to move. Not right to his stick. That's not ideal.
Neubauer angling and agiling his way. Throws it over to Tyler Bogart. Back out, middle of the side, and towards the right. It's Colorado. They'll throw it around the net. Zapala, near side. Fake shot. Back out. Buffalo's controlling and forcing this Colorado State defense to really work here early. 3-1 the score, 6 minutes to go in the first.
CU's got the advantage from the midfield line. Oh, they don't capitalize on it. They had a couple steps on the CSU defender.
Zapala working behind the net, trying to find that space. 35 left on the clock. Pops out. Shot goes off the side of the bar. Rebound,
wow.
And it's picked up by Bogart and put up into the back of the net. Slick play by Bogart. Great hands to both pick up that rebound and all in one motion scoop it into the net.
Yeah, that was really impressive. Kind of like a putback in basketball or a shot on the goalie in hockey that you just slap back right in. That was a great finish. Smooth by Bogarts there. Curious to see how the X plays out today. CU has been favorable early on. CSU is going to want to get the ball more from the X to ensure that the ball stays out of CU's offensive end. Let's see what they can do here.
So, AJ, you both coached lacrosse and played it for a long time. What does this Colorado team have to do to achieve their goals this season? What's going to be the difference maker as they've already taken a 4-1 lead early on in this one?
I think you kind of touched base on it earlier, not looking to the next game. Obviously, when you're in a game, you can feel the rhythm of the game. They know they can look up the scoreboard, see they're up 4-1. You want them to stay task-oriented and think about each possession and not get too big of eyes and keep grinding and working on it. And I think they really do have to trust each other. You can see the offensive ball has been, or the ball has been moving around the offensive end. Everyone's sharing it and moving it. and getting looks for each other. I think that's key here for them.
Colorado State takes over the ball, and one of the things I think that really makes this offense flow is it's a very veteran-led group of guys that have played with each other for a long time, and you can speak to it. But when you have teammates in a team sport like this where passing truly matters, having that confidence and knowing where your guy is going to be can completely change the outcome of the game. And I think, Colorado maybe in the back line a little bit in the midfield doesn't have that, but once they get up front, you can totally see that chemistry play out.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Coach John Galvin kind of puts in offenses that allows that involvement and trust to be expressed. Similar to basketball, some coaches love running set plays. Some either run motion or sets and allow players to operate and play within that system. CU is at their best when they're with their vets, spaced out, reacting and playing. Look for them to keep doing that here.
Some different guys on the field right now for Galvin as we're towards the end of the first quarter. On the near side, it's a Colorado ball from Darrow. He throws it to the far side. Buffalo's working it towards the goal, and they'll throw it behind Zappala, and he loses it, and the Rams take over.
Yeah, seeing some new numbers here, some legs for both teams. As you get in this later part of the season, your depth really matters. So most good teams will tap into that early in the season so you don't get new guys in a critical game and they make a mistake that costs you the game. So look for some new guys out here often and early.
Rams bomb it up the right side. Maybe a shot opportunity here from the wing. Shot, and it goes wide of the net. That's a mistake from the Rams striker. 2-on-1 developing, and you rarely see that in lacrosse where you have a blatant 2-on-1, but it was a great pass from the goaltender out all the way from Culhane, and an opportunity missed by the Rams, and we'll see if they can capitalize on this possession as they work it around the perimeter of Colorado's defense. They'll have to go all the way back out to midfield to restart. Buffalo's really pressing the Rams here early. Near side, Rams with the ball. Wing shot through a screen and a great save. We were right on that line to Jackson Mitchell. There was no way he saw that ball all the way. Two helmets right in front of it. Was able to get his body in front of it, and now Colorado back the other way off the big save. Can they capitalize on the momentum? Zappala, near side shot just wide from Tyler Bogart, and that's a guy you don't want to face from about 10 feet out with a wide open net.
Yeah, I think the goalie considered himself a little lucky on that one. But you're seeing a lot of up and down here from both teams. That's a result of both teams riding hard, putting their middies a little bit more on towards their offensive end as the ball's going the opposite way. CU got caught in a 10-man ride where your goalie hops out and grabs an extra guy, and there's always one open. So I really expect both teams to keep the pressure up early here, which will create a lot of transition O.
And that, again, works in Colorado's favor if it plays out that way. Near side, angling Buffalo has the ball stripped from him, trying to get it away from the defense. It'll be picked up by Andrew LaPerta, or no, that's Tyler Bogart. Bogart with a shot, and again, he just misses from that left side, this time going short side. Wasn't able to put it over the right shoulder of Culhane.
Great slide and double team by CSU, recognizing the CU attacker's head was turned around. They got the ball on the ground but didn't come up with a ground ball. Those are things they're going to want to do to ensure more possessions for them. They have not been winning the ground ball battle early here. Shot by number 55 for CU, blocked by CSU, now going in transition the other way.
A little break. Colorado's defense is set up. Near side on the run. The Rams will stop possession, and a great defensive stick there from Buffalo's number 10, Zach Storm, one of the veterans of this defense who's gotten a lot of playing time now in his junior year as the ball's fought all the way into the corner. And what looked like an opportunity for the Rams is now a loose ball in the corner with 4 Buffaloes surrounding it that win it. I mean, that is just great defense in transition.
Yeah, they clamped on the ball there, got the ball on the ground, knocked the stick out of the CSU attackers, and he got caught playing without a stick, which was a procedure on him. Thus, CU got the ball. Great intensity from their defense there, swarmed on the ball to force the turnover.
Bogart, near side, will throw it cross field. Picked up by Brock Neubauer. He's in his junior year as well. Right in front of the net, shot, score!
Inside.
A little bit of a lacrosse version of a one-timer, and it's Jack Carr capitalizing there. Colorado ahead 5-1 with 1:54 to go in the first, celebrating right in front of that Colorado State net as the Rams are in for a team meeting, trying to figure out what kind of train has hit them. Well, it wasn't a train, it was a buffalo, and they run faster than just about any animal here in the United States.
Great information. Not only are we bringing you sports, but also biology information as well.
I got a history degree, and I don't know what it's for, but I hope it can fill time.
That was a great dodge there down the wing by CU. Mitty dodging with his head up, going through his progressions and reading. Jack Carr realizes CSU sliding from the crease and that there was no two slide. Finds a little seam in the slot and buries it on the near side pipe. Beautiful offense there by CU.
You're watching Buff Sports Live. Jake Shapiro and AJ Colassi on the call, former Colorado Buffaloes champion lacrosse player sitting beside me. I am a graduate of Colorado, broadcast here a couple games in a row for the Buffaloes Sports Live Lacrosse Network. It sounds a little more official when I say it like that, as the Rams take the ball over midfield. Buffaloes with a 5-1 lead in the first round of this championship playoff action.
Noticing that CSU's defense is doing a poor job of staying in tight, packed in. They're allowing a lot of passing lanes to be open. They've got to get a little bit tighter here if they want to keep this thing from getting too far away. As we've seen, CU's offenses and rhythm is going to capitalize when they get those looks.
Aggressive Colorado defense, again forcing Colorado State towards the outside, and a loose ball knocked away from a Colorado stick. Don't got a number on that, but it was a really nice play. Shot, and another great save there. I believe Jackson Mitchell got a piece of that before it hit crossbar, but either way, right on that angle, he's been on all of his shots thus far. Just one in the back of the net in the game's opening minutes that we didn't catch on the broadcast.
That was a trail check by number 13, Mitch Scott, who's playing defense right now. Savvy play to catch the offensive player. The stick behind it. CU with a nice nifty shot inside. Goes wide. CSU back the ball up.
First real inside shot we've seen here in about 10 minutes from Colorado State. They have not gotten within Colorado's box, so to speak, defensively. The Buffaloes, again, have done a great job of forcing Colorado State to the wings and cutting off shot angles. You wonder when Colorado State's players again get savvy enough to realize to counter some of these aggressive moves the defenders are pulling on them. Colorado State trying that right now as they work it to the near side, the weak side of the offense. Up top, Colorado State on the attack, led by Nick Christian. A pass to the near side. Rams trying to work from the wing. They angle on the agile play, but a great stick by Blake Sandman breaks up the play. Unfortunately for the Buffaloes, it's a bit of a inebriation as the yellow comes out, and the Buffaloes will be a man down for the next, we'll find out in a second, but probably a minute. Wasn't too major.
Blake Sandman with a bit of an undisciplined play there. Their defense hasn't given up many looks. So as a coach, you don't want to see someone go over the head. That's kind of a cardinal sin unless you really hit it home. Clearly, because it's a high risk to hit the helmet. CSU gets a goal here, 5-2, wins that faceoff, goes maybe 5-3. So that's kind of just the line of thinking behind a coach of why you don't want your players throwing over the head checks. Sit on the hip, play your defense, play your technique, and trust your teammates there.
25 seconds left in this first period. Near side, and Colorado State works around. Sandman, a very aggressive player, sometimes gets those penalties, and exactly what you talk about is Colorado State nets it really easy. It's Nick Chastain, and what Nick Chastain did there was he faked a pass to the wing. What Colorado State has done over and over again, Colorado's defense overcommitted, and he used that against them, found an open lane, and there was truly no shot for Jackson Mitchell to save that ball. And now with 14 seconds left in the quarter, Buffalo's trying to hang on to some momentum here going into the second.
CSU doing a great job there, running a 3-3 where the defense has to play a box and one with the middle guy stringing between a crease guy and the top midi. CSU does a good job of holding them off and making Blake Sandman pay for that selfish penalty. 5-2, CU back at the X.
So 14 seconds, and then we'll see another face-off. What will happen between now and then? Buffalo 1X, a little face-off action there, draw control, whatever you want to call it. We've called it many things. I just like to call it a loose ball.
Yeah, typically if you win the initial draw from where the ball is placed, you call that winning the draw, and then from there, whoever wins the ground ball wins the faceoff.
So the Buffaloes will ride that 5-2 lead. They took the ball, decided to hang back, and we'll start back in the second quarter. But first, let me tell you about Buff Sports Live, where we... What's up?
I got to restart it.
Okay. Well, we'll be right back on Buff Sports Live, I guess. Back for the second quarter of action here on Buff Sports Live. Jake Shapiro and AJ Colassi, former Colorado Buffaloes champion lacrosse player. Buffaloes winning 5-2 in the first round of the championship playoffs here in college club lacrosse. Buffaloes with a great first quarter. Unfortunately took a penalty there late, which gave Colorado State some momentum. We'll see if the Buffaloes can hang on here. Their offensive attack has been dazzling thus far, and we said they could score 20 goals in this game, and they're on pace for that thus far. Buffalo's on the attack right now with the ball. It's Ben Willows. He scored a goal in the first quarter, rides towards the net, and is driven right behind, pops back out, and puts it in the back of the net. And that is just a savvy play by the senior Ben Willows. He has done that time and time again in his career here at the University of Colorado.
You saw Ben try to use his body there on the lower wing. The defender kind of expected it and then bounced off, which allowed him to get to X. Had a step or two on him, faked it high, near side, and buried it low right around the goalie. Beautiful finish there by Ben Wells.
That's what you do as an offensive player. You take what the defense gives you. Eventually, the defense got out of place, and Ben popped up in front and put it right behind that senior goalie for Colorado State, Frank Colhane. They go back to the dot in the middle of the field on the Colorado Buffaloes logo. That's Ralphie for those unfamiliar. Colorado Buffaloes are represented by Ralphie, a buffalo. It's actually a bison here in North America. Colorado State represented by Cam the Ram, which is, well, self-explanatory. Up top, Colorado State with the ball on the near side. They've scored 2 goals in this game. One came on a man up. The other was very early on. We didn't have it on the broadcast. We're happy to just get it up. We had a rainstorm, a sudden rainstorm here in Colorado. If you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. It will change, and it did. Behind the goal line, it's Colorado State controlling the ball. Player falls down in front of the net. That's a Ram. They've had really a hard time getting within Colorado's box that's set up. That's more like a pentagon right now. And again, a loose ball, and Colorado back the other way. This time it's Liam Montgomery on the break off the right side. He stops, makes a nifty move, and then will be pushed back behind the goal, and he'll set up for Colorado Buffaloes on offense. There is an 80-second shot clock that starts as soon as the guys touch the ball. For those of you who are new to college club lacrosse this year or have seen it in the past.
CU's defense doing a great job of communicating, playing with high energy, and staying fundamental right now. That whole defensive series was nothing but constant communication and people getting the 2s and 3 slides right position, forcing CSU to get frustrated and turn the ball over.
Spin, Colorado with the ball. It's George Candle. He'll throw it back to the other side, and there takes it. It's Tyler Bogart looking for the hat trick. He spins himself off that left side. Coming to the near side again. Up top, a shot on the run. Goes off a Ram defender's leg. Comes out to midfield. Loose ball. It's pushed ahead. Can't get past that line for the defense for Colorado. Shot clock resets. And up into the attacking zone once more. It's the Buffaloes under the stewardship of Zach Johnson.
For you guys at home, the reason that wasn't an over and back like typically is if you go from your offensive end back over the midfield line is because it was off a shot that hit the post. At that point, it's a free play, and whoever gets the ball comes up with it, no violation.
Nice save there by Colhane. Colorado State takes the rebound there on the run. It's about a 4-on-4. The Rams are attacking off the right wing side. They'll have to throw it behind the net, and taking over control is number 33, Josh Kelly. Slowly working it in a windstorm this afternoon. We haven't even really mentioned that, but the wind does have a huge effect when you've got a little white ball flying through the air. It's harder to make some passes. We haven't really seen it have too much of an effect thus far.
CU's defense right now seems to be pushing a little bit out on exchanges while CSU's getting their new middies on. Seems to be working to apply some pressure for them, wasting clock on CSU's end.
35 left on the clock. Colorado State pops from behind the net. It's to the near side, one of their attackers, and throw it to the right side. It's number 29 with the ball right now, Grant Alfred, and he loses the ball. Colorado picks it up, no problem, and it'll be Galen Sloss looking to advance it over midfield. Buffaloes do it no problem in the form of Mitchell Scott.
Great dodge there by CSU. Just got to get your hands free to get a better shot that's not deflected.
Zapala towards the net. Don't know how it ended up there, but looks like a deflection out in front, and Colorado makes it 6-2. Zapala with a shot, went off a leg out in front, and Colorado State just looking for answers at this point on defense. First true fast break points we've seen, so to speak, out of Colorado. Don't know what to call that necessarily. What do you call that in lacrosse? But it's fast break points to me at any sport when you get a broken play like that and you're able to take advantage.
Yeah, it's typically called transition offense. Transition lives between the two restraining lines, which is the gold and black line for you guys watching at home. That surrounds the midfield line. So, yeah, transition is the name of John Galvin's game. He loves to play between the lines. It's kind of like up and down the court in basketball. Push the ball, get those looks with the defense out of position. CU's brand of lacrosse.
On the face-off, players crashing, and the Buffaloes come away with it back towards their own end. Roderick Vitale, who's been here forever, is able to pick up the ball. Don't remember the last time Colorado, it says he's a senior, but it may have been 8 years before the last time he wasn't playing here. He's one of those guys that just plays college sports forever.
He's the Perry Ellis of CU lacrosse, if you will. Kind of a missed call, in my opinion, by the refs there. They called a loose ball hold. Vitale still had the ball in his stick, and the CSU player had his arm and stick wrapped around his chest, took him to the ground. Could have been a flag opportunity, but CU doesn't need any help in the goal department right now.
Up 7-2, I'm sorry, in the first round of the playoffs. They will take on, the winner of this game will take on Utah Valley in the next round. I believe that game is Saturday, tomorrow, or is it Sunday?
It's Saturday, I believe at 1 p.m. tomorrow for Division I. I think Division II is either at 10:30 or 11 a.m. Just before that, which will be Montana State Bobcats versus Utah State.
To paint the picture, not to make an excuse, all of our papers blew away and they all got wet. So all of our information is kind of out of here. So finals were on April 27th, so that is tomorrow, and the winner, the semifinal winner is 4 p.m. So that game's at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Here. Oh, I'm sorry. No, the Division I right here, AJ.
That's Friday.
Oh, you're always right. I'm always wrong. Well, Colorado with the ball on offense, as they always have had almost the entire game. Buffalo's working to the far side. They pick it up from behind the net, and the shot goes wide. Buffaloes will control it still. So what's our answer on that?
Sorry, I apologize. The final conclusion is Division II is at 1 p.m. tomorrow, which is Montana State versus Utah State. Division I, the winner of this game plays Utah Valley State tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Okay, great.
So we were both right, just
different
different parts.
Yeah, no doubt. Colorado State, in the form of Frank Colhane, picks up the ball from behind the net to the near side. They throw it across, and Buffalo's now relaxing a bit up on the press. They'll try and stop him at the midfield line. Colorado State has 10 seconds to get it past, and they have no problem doing so. Loose ball on a bad pass, scooped up by Colorado. It is Tyler Reynolds on the stick, and he'll throw it cross field for Nick Darrow.
Just a short note on Utah Valley State. They were kind of coming to power at the end of my tenure, which was 2015, and since
play out in front, Colorado again into the back of the net. It was a broken play again from Colorado State's defense. Buffalo's made a cross goal pass, and it ended up there. Don't know who put it back in there in the net, but I'll tell you what, Colorado State looking for some answers, and they're already making some subs on defense right after that goal.
Yeah, I believe that was Bogart off a deflection from the defender's stick. Tracked the ball the whole way. You're starting to see some longer huddles from CSU's defense after the goals, looking for answers. In my opinion, that's where a coach would call a timeout, get everyone in, take a deep breath, and be the leader that they need him to be, because defensively they look lost right now.
Hat-trick goal from Bogart. It's 8-2 with 8:28 before the halftime break here in Boulder, Colorado. Buffalo's shellacking the Rams thus far in the Rocky Mountain Showdown here in the playoffs. Don't get these out in many of the other sports, so happy to see it no matter the sport. Wish we had this in no, I don't wish we had this in football. I'll shut my mouth now. Curtis Zapala working towards the net. Sorry, that's Jack Smith working towards the net.
CU playing a little offense with their defensive middies on, keeping those guys on the field, giving their offensive guys some rest. But this is kind of when the turnovers come over, and on cue, that happens. CU turns the ball over, CSU's ball.
Buffs can really make the Rams work for it, both in possession and trying to get it across, lose their legs before they even get towards the net. when you're up 8-2. But again, the Buffaloes take another penalty, their second of the game, and that's really the one thing that would cost them the opportunity to move on at this point with a 6-goal lead in the first half, is starting to take some undisciplined actions towards the Rams.
Difference being in that penalty versus the one earlier in the game. As a coach, you're not as upset about that one. You've got a midi dropping back, riding hard on the sidelines, applying pressure. It was a bit of a flop. It's kind of a subjective call of the ref. If the offensive player turns their back, it's up to their discretion, and obviously he threw the flag there. Push with possession in the back.
Rams scored last time. They had a man up from the center of the field. They'll try and run it again through Nick Chastain, who was able to put that in the back of the net last time they scored. This is a 30-second man up, and Colorado takes possession of the ball without much of an issue. Tyler Reynolds picks it up on the loose ball, scoops it and moves towards the right side, to the near side, and to the shoulder on the left side of Frank Colhane. Buffaloes will wait out the rest of this penalty. They are at even strength now, and Ben Paulitz will diddle around the zone, throw it back towards the logo. Buffaloes in no rush. They've gotten whatever they needed to on offense thus far. Zappala up top on the handoff will take over and move towards the far side. Right in front of the Rams bench. Over on the Colorado logo by US 36. Still with the ball, Zappala tried to set up a play for Neubauer, nothing doing there, but it's picked up still by Colorado. This time it's Ben Willows, 33 on the shot clock. He gets that shot off, ricochets all the way to midfield off of the side of the goal. Colorado State picks it up on the run now. It is the Rams in the form of Grant Alfred. He
Great
stops.
stick protection there by Alfred to keep the ball as it trickles over the midfield line. CU is all over him. Important for CSU to keep these possessions here. One thing I'm looking for is their offense seems a bit robotic. It looks like they drew up a play on the whiteboard, they're going through it, and they're not reading the defense.
As CSU again works it towards the wing, the Buffaloes forcing them away from the center of the field all game thus far. Adam Elliott with the ball, trying to get it towards the middle there on the pass. Loose ball again, and Colorado's sticks have been all over it. This time Colorado State will be able to pick it up. Near side, Rams. 35 left on the clock.
CSU can just not get any inside leverage on CU's defense. The 2 or 3 times the ball's gotten inside, they have just collapsed on them, forced a bad shot, or put the ball on the ground.
And again, right there is that. Inside Colorado State goes. Quick shot. Goes nowhere near the net. No problem for the freshman goaltender of the Buffaloes as they advance it now across the midfield line. Near side, it's number 21 with the ball, Brock Neubauer. He spins, gives it towards the middle, shot and a goal. And that is a beauty coming from the stick of Christian Snodgrass. It all came from the pass there by Neubauer, who kind of toyed with the defense and able to get towards the center there. And Colorado State, again, not really having an opportunity to answer the Buffaloes at all, as we're losing papers now onto the field of play.
Neubauer did a great job of carrying the ball down the wing there, occupying the slide guy of CSU. Snodgrass finds a little slot right in the middle of the field with no pressure on him and kind of shoots a little slow motion. It wasn't sure. I think he was expecting pressure. Definitely not his hardest shot, but it doesn't matter when it goes in the back of the net.
And from 5 feet out, you don't need to have your hardest shot. You just need to finesse that past the goaltender, and there's got to be no better feeling in lacrosse when you have that opportunity, because rare do they come when you have an open net like that on a opportunity when you really plenty of time considering the situation. Buffaloes cross the timeline. It's Tyler Reynolds, and ball comes up loose. And we don't have the official stats, but I got to tell you, the Buffaloes, again, picking up a loose ball, have definitely picking up a large majority of the loose balls thus far in this contest, and that's what's propelling them. It's a game of possessions, as are most sports, and the Buffaloes not only getting more possessions, but doing more with those possessions as they roll over towards the middle. Loose ball, it will be picked up by Colorado State this time. Nope, Colorado gets right back on that ball, and there is Curtis Zappala, whose stick has been all over the place. They throw a long bomb pass out to the midfield line, and a long fake shot attempt from Zach Johnson. Behind the net to the near side, it's Snodgrass. He wants to shoot. He loves to shoot. Gets inside on the angle, bodies up his defender, and is saved by Colhane.
To touch on a note you made just a couple minutes ago, ground balls are nothing but a function of intensity and want to. They're similar to rebounds in basketball, and a coach will tell you you just have to try harder to get those ground balls. There's nothing glamorous about it. Technique is fairly simple. Just shows that CU wants this game more right now.
Which is a good sign, considering, again, one of our keys for this performance was Colorado not to overlook this game against a team they've taken care of handily in the past here recently. The Rams' rivalry with Colorado in all sports, and you feel it a little bit on this field. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten the best game out of them thus far. 9-2 is the score, 3:40 to go in the first quarter, or the second quarter, first half. Rams on the far side, and not having the best of passes as Colorado's defense has hammered them through the middle, forcing them towards the sides of the goal. They'll set up from behind, already down to 20 seconds left on the shot clock. They're going to have to get a shot off here soon as the Buffaloes pressuring the Rams once more. 15 and now 14 up top. It's number 15 with the ball, Nick Christain, one of their better offensive players. Shot from the near side. Great save, Colorado. Wow, what a beauty from the freshman Jackson Mitchell. It was alone on goal from the side, a clean look, and Mitchell was able to sprawl out and stop it with his left leg.
CU's bench getting loud right now, crowd getting loud. The energy is out here for CU. CSU's got to do something quick to kind of pick that up before this margin gets too big.
Rams have not scored in this quarter. It's 9-2 and a timeout called. Was that by Colorado, giving a little quick timeout there?
You know, I'm not exactly sure. Defensively, it doesn't make a ton of sense to call a timeout there unless someone was injured. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that was on Colorado State, but I could be mistaken.
Well, we are here at the first round of the playoffs between Colorado and Colorado State. We're on Buff Sports Live. If you don't know what Buff Sports Live is, well, you're going to have to wait till our next episode next year because our season ended earlier today with our last show. We're a student-run organization with a weekly sports show that airs Friday at 4:15. Our executive producer, Mitch Sanchez, sitting next to us. He's the one actually doing all the work, and he is a senior. Yeah, you are running. You're not sitting, and we want to congratulate him for all of his good work. We've had all the hockey and lacrosse broadcasts the last 2 years up on YouTube thanks to Mitch, and without him, none of this would have happened. So a huge send-off to him, and I have no idea how any of these broadcasts are going to get up at all next year. So take them while you can get them, because we are doing it out of the love of our hearts, because we love the University of Colorado, and we are passionate about journalism and broadcasting. So that's what our club is all about. So if you have a kid coming to the University of Colorado or a kid here already, even if you're a parent of the lacrosse team and you go, hey, my kid isn't doing enough playing lacrosse and being a student, and he's interested in journalism, send him our way and we'll give him some tasks to do. I think that was a good advertisement.
And on a side note, from my angle as a lacrosse enthusiast and coach and former player, it's awesome right now for the growth of the game to look up and down the sidelines and seeing people, 5-6 people deep, filling up the stands. You got a whole bunch of people out here, a whole bunch of people tuning online, former alumni from both teams, and just curious lacrosse fans. So it's awesome to come out and see the support from lacrosse in Colorado. Please keep it up.
Lacrosse is one of the fastest growing games in the world, and it's a great game, and we're glad that the University of Colorado at least offers it at the club level. Hopefully one day we'll see it at the intercollegiate level the way we see some of the other sports. I know that might be on the docket of athletic director Rick George at some point. Of course, the nice part is we've got a women's lacrosse team here that's been highly successful in their first few years in Division I action, so that makes it even more of an incentive. And, of course, we already have the facilities because of that women's lacrosse program. On the near side, it's Colorado Buffaloes with the ball. They're having a great offensive game, 2:30 to go in the first half. The Buffaloes crisscrossing into the zone on the near side. It's number 32 with the ball. That's Peter Bogard. He works a shot. It goes wide, and Colorado State takes possession.
Hopefully CU does make the push towards D1 in the next couple of years. I think Utah's the first domino to fall for the Pac-12. And, I mean, really, truly, to me, it's a no-brainer if the funding and Title IX checks are there, as USC, UCLA, Oregon, all these schools kind of align themselves, especially where the growth of the game is going within California, Utah, Colorado. There should be a bevy of players out there to fulfill D1 teams.
And, of course, you look at the Pac-12 because that's the conference the Buffaloes are in, but you look down the road about 30 miles, and it's been the best success in terms of men's lacrosse west of the Mississippi, and I'm talking about the University of Denver. So you know you'll be able to attract the talent to a place that's just a little bit prettier than the University of Denver, just a little bit. Big Pios guy. To the near side, it's Colorado with a shot and pass the goaltender, Frank Colhane. This shot was by Nick Darrow, the freshman, scoring in a pretty big moment here to give Colorado a 10-2 lead just 99 seconds before the halftime break.
On the note of the campuses, I have spent a good amount of time, as a lot of the coaching I do is down at DU, and I've also spent a good time in Boulder as a graduate of here, and I was also 18 at one point in my life. If you told me those two campuses and still have the opportunity to play Division I lacrosse, it's kind of a no-brainer in my mind. But DU's poll right now is still having Coach Bill Tierney, Matt Brown, and John Orson, one of the best staffs in the country, the most winningest college lacrosse coach of all time. That goes a long way. But I think in no time, if CU went D1, they would be very successful. And DU is actually playing right now against Marquette out there in Wisconsin. They're up 5-2.
Milwaukee, that is Wisconsin. And, it's a not great thing to have this conversation just kind of cyclically. You're always having this conversation, but it is a huge undercurrent of both the players in the program on Colorado State on the near side, trying to work a shot. Huge hit by Colorado. That was Nathan Bull coming kind of out of the blind side. Not his fault necessarily because the Colorado State player has started to fall, but either way, Colorado will take another penalty towards the end of a quarter. But just to wrap things up on the D1 point is all the people in the program, all of the players in the program, their dream is to one day kind of get Colorado to a place where the athletic director says, our club team is so good, we want to make you a D1 team for real. So, as much as it's like you're having this conversation over and over when you're talking about club sports, it is a real part of the conversation behind the scenes, as you can tell, AJ, because you were in it.
Yeah, and just a bit of, I'm not sure the best way to put it, but a quick note, MCLA is a separately ran club organization, different than, say, you're running the mill regular campus sport club. There's a commissioner, there are dues, there's a board, right? So they're doing those things to try to treat it as serious as possible. And the one that comes to mind for me is Michigan, who had a rip of a 10-year in the MCLA and was phenomenal. Oh.
Colorado State finally gets inside again, taking advantage of that late penalty on Colorado, and a goal for the first time in this second quarter coming for the Rams. It'll make it 10-3 with 1:01 to go in this second quarter, right before the halftime break. And I don't know if I like that. You saw what Nick Chastain did there, kind of blowing some kisses at Colorado's goaltender. I mean, if you're Colorado, all you got to do is point up to the scoreboard at this point.
Yeah, and especially because 2 of the 3 goals are from a man-down penalty. If CU keeps their cool and plays smart, it's a 10-1 game. I'm not much one for talking when I'm down, but to each their own.
You got to try and do something to change the tides here, and maybe you get Colorado focused on the talking more than the game, and it works. But whatever Colorado State's going to try to do, they're going to try and do as the halftime comes, and they'll make some adjustments because they are playing to continue their seasons, and some of these guys are going to play their last collegiate lacrosse game, last important lacrosse game of their lives tonight if the score does not change. So they're going to come out a desperate and hungry team, as they are right now for the last 40 seconds of this quarter, and another goal here would be huge towards the momentum, just as we saw at the end of the first quarter. Colorado State with the ball on offense. They've got plenty of time. They can get last shot. Derek Delhaney with the ball, working on Colorado's defense. 25 to go. Rams patient about it right now. Colorado's defense a little less aggressive than we saw earlier. Rams goal line extended to the near side of the net. 13 left in the quarter before the halftime break. Rams wrapping around. They throw it over to Alfred Grant, who's had a huge chances in the scoring department today, and he gets a shot off from the middle. It goes out of bounds, and the Rams will have it with 2.7 seconds left. And the goaltender for the Buffaloes, Mitchell Jackson, is telling everyone to, or Jackson Mitchell, rather, is telling everyone to get out of his way so he gets a clear shot at what is coming towards him, but it never comes as the halftime whistle sounds. So 10-3 the score here at the University of Colorado in Boulder, Colorado, between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Colorado State Rams. Try and say Colorado more times in a sentence, I dare you. The Buffaloes winning 10-3 in the first round of this playoff action. We'll be back for the second half of action on Buff Sports Live in just about 8 minutes. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll be right back. Back on Buff Sports Live for the second half of action in the Rocky Mountain Showdown in the first round of the playoffs in this championship lacrosse series. Winner of this game will take on Utah Valley State in the championship tomorrow at 4 p.m., hopefully on Buff Sports Live as we're trying to find some talent. Anyways, the talent right now is Jake Shapiro and AJ Colasi as we've got this game, which is steadily in Colorado's hands at 10-3. What kind of halftime adjustments would you make, AJ, as a coach in lacrosse if you were coaching these Rams?
If I was CSU, and first it's going to start with the X in the defensive end. You got to get possessions at the face-off, and you got to keep CU from scoring defensively. So pack it in a little tighter. Have your 2s and 3s in line, communicating helps make that a little bit better. And then offensively, like I said, they're still just a little bit set. It looks like the same plays or same motion every single time. Late in that second quarter, they were just sending cutters through the crease, holding the ball behind X, and it really wasn't working for them. I think they got to play a little bit more within themselves and play a little more fluidly to get some looks on offense.
Beginning to get dark as the sun goes down behind the Flatirons. We are here at the foot of the Flatirons in Boulder, Colorado, where the Buffaloes are hosting this tournament. Buffaloes had a very good defensive second quarter that was kind of hidden by how well they played offensively. Only allowed 1 goal, and it came with a man up. In fact, they've only allowed 1 even strength goal in this game. Buffalo's on offense. It's Mitchell Scott with it. They're working it around, and Zapala comes up with it. They work it to the near side. Tyler Bogart, their leading goal scorer, will throw it cross field. Buffaloes can take all the time they want in possession. No worry, the clock is on their side entirely. Ben Willows on the right side gets around the defense. He'll throw it behind the net. Zapala pops out near side. Fake pass. Then the pass comes. Passed around, and Ryan Russell lays one on to Snodgrass. Snodgrass gets an angle at the net. I believe it was called a moving screen or moving rub.
Yeah, that was interference on our moving pick on CU. To me, it kind of could have gone both ways. CSU player saw him and popped him in the back. Regardless, not that big of a call, but quick note on this weekend as CU picks the ball up on a forced turnover on the ride. The Rocky Mountain Lacrosse Conference, the RLMC.
Shot just goes high coming off the stick of Brock Neubauer.
The RLMC lost their automatic qualifier as they only have 4 Division I teams. I think the minimum requirement is 5 in the MCLA. So for the national championship, the winner of this conference is not guaranteed a spot in the national tournament. That being said, CU has a pretty good record this year. I believe only has 2 losses and 8 wins, but they need to keep chugging along so that there is no questions for those people putting the teams in the brackets. Haven't really snuffed up on my bubbles yet, but hopefully CU gets in the national tournament. That's why this game and presumably tomorrow are big games.
So a penalty called on Tyler Bogart at the midfield line as he came over the top and used his stick to hit somebody in the head, and you can't do that. So the Rams once again go to the man up, and they've scored 2 goals on the man up on their 2 tries. So this is where Colorado State has been most dangerous.
Yeah, and I was earlier wrong in the game when I said that CU was in a box and 1, was stringing a middle guy. They're actually in a 5-man rotation, kind of a star rotation. Play ball side, rotate into the ball, and recover back. See if CSU can note that and capitalize on it with what they've been doing.
Rams pop to the near side, shot, a goal. A rifle of a shot coming from Grant Brennan, and he gets one past the stifling Colorado goalie, Jackson Mitchell.
Shout out to Grant Breeden, who plays in the Colorado College Box Lacrosse League, a 2-month-long series put together by Warrior DU and Coach Matt Brown and US Boxla, who just signed a partnership with the NLL. It's one of the leagues I coach in, and I think it's going to play a key development in the growth of the sports in the U.S. as well as the box game, which has a lot of carryover to the field game and makes some of the best players. CSU does well at the X with the face-off, forces CU's Fogo to drop the ball and picks up the ground ball now on the offensive end pressing. Shot, goal, number 36. Derek Edelman for CSU, pushing the ball in transition. 2-goal run for CSU. That's the way you want to open up a second half if you're them.
And we talked about halftime adjustments, whatever adjustments were made. Maybe we haven't even seen them yet, but 2 quick goals for Colorado State. just 3 minutes into the second half, and it's all of a sudden creeping towards a game once more as the score is 10-5 with Colorado leading the Colorado State Rams, and this face-off's going to be a big one because the Rams have scored the last 2 times they've touched it. Only 2 even-strength goals. 3 have come on the man up for the Rams, and the Buffaloes will able to be on the ball here with Liam Montgomery taking it over towards the right side. Montgomery in a big possession for Colorado. They don't need a goal here, but they do need to show that they're still in the game and still on top of things. Tyler Bogart doing his thing. And it's a beautiful thing when he does his thing. And Brock Neubauer throws it up towards the midfield line. In between the circle, it's Ryan Russell. Near side, number 21, Neubauer. Russell thrown to the far side. Once more, it's Russell. On the run, hop steps in towards the defense. Thought about the shot, trailing himself, but then worked right back towards the D. Inside, here comes the shot. Overhead, saved by Frank Coolhane. The rebound picked up by the Rams, and the Buffaloes right back on the hard press offensively, but the Rams are on the run themselves and don't have too much of a problem advancing it. Ram player falls. Colorado with the advantage there from Blake Sandman, taking it right out of his stick, and coming up the near side, it is Zappala looking for Sandman. Crossfield pass. They'll find the far man instead. It's Snodgrass, and he throws it up towards midfield where the Buffaloes are looking to reset offensively. In towards the goal. Colhane makes the save. Rebound comes out, and it's picked up by Colorado State.
Great shot there by Ben Willows and a better save by CSU. Ben does such a good job of using his body to separate the stick from the defender, finding a short sliver underneath and trying to bury it. I believe he played hockey growing up, so you can kind of see some of that carryover. It's really nice to watch offensively.
Pollitt, Zappala. Buffalo's using those good defensive sticks to get right back into the offensive zone. Neubauer, fake the shot, goes inside, now shoots it, deflected and saved by Colhane.
Great hitch by Neubauer to freeze his defender, allows him to get to the middle. CSU rotated straight to him and got their stick up and deflected the ball. Good team defense by them.
Speedy run by Derek Adelman, the latest goal scorer. No problem for Colorado, and they're right back upfield themselves. 10:17 to go in the third quarter. Buffalo's leading by 5.
You have to wonder if CSU's feeling pressure a little bit. It seems they're applying it on themselves. The last 3 times the ball's gotten over the midfield line going towards their offensive end, they've either turned the ball over, made an errant pass, or just kind of ran themselves out of bound. That may be an artifact of them trying too hard. Kind of just got to let the game come to them.
Smith to the far side. Buffaloes looking for a shot from the right side wing. It's Smith with it. He goes behind the net. Willows pops out. Great move. Bounce shot saved by Colhane and picked up by the Rams.
Bogart had Zappella on the step down right there as he drew the slide, decided to split 2. Could kind of go 50-50, but that step down from 12 is what you want on offense. That was all a product of CU carrying the ball, dragging 2 defenders together, and removing the ball when the defense is rotating, something CSU hasn't done a good job of here.
Rams behind the goal line as they make some changes and now pop back out in front. Getting some fresh legs on the field as they try to go on a 3-goal run here. Derek Delhaney on the ball. Work it up top. It's Nick Chastain, who scored a couple tonight. To the left side behind the net. Rams using all the possession clock they can here. Grant Alfred, and a bad pass goes away from the Rams, and Colorado's defense held stout there.
It's hard to determine if their offensive pace is a function of their skill or talent or their coaching strategy. But if I'm CSU's coach right now, you got to get a little more juice offensively, try to get some goals in the back of the net, close this thing up.
Buffs in gray and white with the black helmets. Colorado State in green with the gold and green accents on their hats. George Candle. Jack Smith. Smith gets a rub towards the net, and his shot goes wide, far side.
Good dodge there by Jack Smith. Looks like his shot had eyes, but he went just wide of the post. CSU's goalie is really big and takes up a lot of space. That can be challenging as an offensive shooter to try to get it on spot.
Zappala on the bounce this time, just missed the net, and Colorado State closest to it, so they will get back possession. Buffalo's yet to score, halfway gone in this third quarter. Offense has calmed down a little bit. They're getting their shots, they're just not hitting them. I'm sorry, that's not Tyler Reynolds, that's Frank Colhane. And back the other way, Colorado State trying to take advantage of a Colorado goalie out of his net. And wonderful job by Jackson Mitchell to make up ground. Bad pass and right back the other way. Colorado State open net, and he missed. Again an open net, and this time it's put back in there by Grant Brennan. 3 A-plus opportunities for the Rams, and the third one was cash. I guess you could say 3 is the lucky number, and the Colorado State Rams are on a 3-goal run as they've made it 10-6 here in the first round of the playoffs with 7:35 to go in the third quarter. It is once more a ball game.
That was a pretty wild series of events there. I don't know if I've ever seen a play happen like that. All started with CU still running the 10-man ride, still trying to apply pressure. CSU finding that deep guy open. CU's goalie made some great saves, but Grant Beating keeping his nose to the grindstone, finds the back of the net after chasing the ball down. Really impressive.
We saw it early with Jackson Mitchell being super aggressive, and it hasn't cost him yet until then. And he's in the back of his net right now, kind of shaking his head with his hands on his hip. His teammate Tyler Bogart's going to try and make up for it. Rifles a shot, saved by Colhane up high as he tried to go upper 90, as we like to call it in soccer.
Feeling the tides a shift a little bit. CU's starting to force it a little bit offensively, getting CSU's goalie hot, helping him make some saves. And then CSU's trying to push it in transition and get their own opportunities. CU's going to kind of want to slow down here and get a goal if they can.
Towards the net, a shot goes wide, and the Buffaloes have done that quite a few times here. They're trying to aim for that far side, the left shoulder of Frank Colhane, and they keep trying to go to finesse because they've missed the net quite a few times. 6:49 to go in the third quarter. Buffalo's leading 10-6. Winner of this game will take on Utah Valley State tomorrow at 4 p.m. in the championship of this division. Buffalo's behind the net. It's their craftiest player, Tyler Bogart. Stands only at 5'8", but he is a lot to deal with as you see him angling on to the Colorado State defense. Doesn't care much for contact. He'll go right into it. Jack Smith towards the net. Behind it, popping out. Too many passes perhaps for Colorado as it pops back away. 30 left on the shot clock. You saw what they were trying to do there, setting up the play out in front. Instead, the man who was trying to get the ball before, Zach Johnson, throws it to the near side. Shot by Snodgrass, and a goal to stop the Colorado State run by the Buffaloes.
Yeah, not sure if Frank Calhoun was late to the pipe there, but as a goalie, you should never get beat to the near side. Snodgrass does a good job of leaning his body, maybe keeping the goalie honest to the backside pipe, sticks it near side. A much-needed goal for CU with 6:04 to go in the third quarter.
And when it got tight, the Buffaloes counted on their senior leadership in Christian Snodgrass, who has been here for so long, and you see his skill paying off as well. It's now a 5-goal lead, getting back to that comfortable position as long as the Buffaloes close out this quarter well. Loose ball picked up by Colorado State. Behind the net, a good check there from Colorado's Nathan Bull. Rams way away from the danger zones, but the Buffaloes still pressuring, and they're able to pick up the ball on a nice stick effort by Zach Storm. Back the other way, it's the Buffaloes. To the near side, Zapala. Right back through the middle. Now it's Zapala crisscrossing. He works it towards the middle with the ball, throws it to Snodgrass, the latest goal scorer for the black and gold.
CU defense with a great turnover there by double teaming, realizing CSU.
Neubauer out in front, shot and a goal by Colorado. That one comes from the stick of Jack Carr as he drove himself right in to the center of the defense and then parked himself there and threw it into the back of the net with no blinkers on whatsoever for Carr.
I'm going to start calling him Jack Crease Carr. I think he's buried 3, and all of them have been right on top of the crease. As a defense, you just can't allow that to happen. That is the most vulnerable spot for you, and that's usually a result of lack of communication or keeping your head on a swivel. CSU defense is not in sync right now.
And 2 straight goals from Colorado in just over the course of a minute. And that's what we saw very early on in this game, AJ, with Colorado not scoring on the initial transition opportunity, but settling in and scoring right after. And you just can't have that if you're Colorado State. Your defense is set, and yet you let a guy sneak in right there like that. And the Buffaloes again with the ball on offense. Nathan Bull working it on the wing. He'll bring it up top to his strong side, the right side. They're across field and away from us. Buffalo's towards the net. They pop it behind it. Zappala looking for the pass. Can't get that one-time action to go. And the Rams pick it up, and they're on the run towards the Colorado zone. Buffalo's back on defense already, and they've been all over this Rams attack, forcing them behind the net here once more. Spinning out in front, a shot low, and it goes wide. It'll stay with CSU. I wish I could run the way Jackson Mitchell runs at 18 years old. I'm only a couple years older than him, but man, I cannot run like that kid can.
You're not a boy anymore, Jake.
No, that is still a boy back there. Near side, Rams. Back on the X. Popping out in front again, Colorado. Not even in these dangerous defensive zones, scoring areas, forcing the Rams towards loose balls, and a lot of pressure being put on by the Colorado defense. Seems like they woke up as soon as it got to a close game. It was 6-10, and the Buffaloes woke up, and now it's 12-6.
Great backdoor there. Look by
Buffs with an opportunity coming off the crease, popping out. Snodgrass having a huge third quarter, makes it 13-6 with the Buffaloes in transition. And that regroup effort from the Rams at halftime, which paid off for the first few minutes, has dissipated.
As we mentioned earlier, CU loves to push the ball in transition. Ryan Russell headmans the ball up, finds Snodgrass right on the crease, draws Frank Calhoun out of the goal, which is a coach you don't want to see the goalie leave home. Tries to land a check, sticks it right behind him. Great transition by CU there, capitalizing on the turnover.
Little Adam Sandler, you got to be saying if you're the coach, that's your home, goalie. That's your home. Get in your home. Colorado working it right off the faceoff towards the center of the crease. Ball loose out in front there, picked up by Colorado State. And they're trying to create some chaos because whatever else they've tried to create here the last few minutes has not worked. Buffaloes then pick it right back up again. They've been on top of almost every loose ball. Snodgrass throws a pass up to the middle. It is Zappala carrying it very patiently, waiting for those changes to be made. Now it's Nick Darrow working off the right side. Shot from way out, and the save by CSU as they throw the long bomb pass to try and get it in on the zone. It's 4-on-4, Buffalo's defenders trailing as the Rams spin out, and they'll be caught by the Buffalo's defense. Those Rams changes have been coming so much later. Spinning towards the front of the net, shot, and a goal. It was an absolute beauty there from the Rams. Malcolm McDonald with a spin move, evading 3 different Buffaloes defenders, driving towards the center of the goal, and then beating Jackson Mitchell on the best one-man effort we've seen on either side in this ball game.
Kind of live and die by the sword there of CU's defense, playing aggressive while CSU's subbing their defensive middies off. Had the triple team, should have had the ball on the ground. Guys stopped playing body, started chasing stick. Malcolm was able to squeeze out of that and get a great shot off to the far side. Heads up play there to keep his head down and keep going towards the goal.
(13-7) the score, 3:03 left on the clock. Maybe a good sign for those in Boulder County, as a foul is called, so it'll be Colorado State ball.
Loose ball hold, I want to say on Broderick Vitale on the faceoff there. Won the ball out and then held CSU's Fogo back with his free hand.
It's Kyle Robentine with the ball. Passes back to a fellow green shirt, and a shot goes wide. It'll stay with the Rams offensively.
CSU finally starting to get some looks with their dodges down the side. I think CU's defenders are doing a poor job of body position. They're starting to rely on their sticks a bit more. which is either laziness or tiredness. Whatever it is, it's not acceptable, and look for them to return to form.
Loose ball out in front, picked up by the Buffaloes. On it is Cleveland McCarty. Went to Boulder High School, I believe Cleveland did. Nope.
Sounds like he's from Cleveland.
He's from Boulder. I think he went to Boulder High. I think he went
There.
to school with me, man.
Yeah, you probably know. I don't know anyone on these teams anymore. The only guys I know are the alumni sitting on the sidelines chatting it up.
Well, they're having more fun than the guys in the game. They don't even realize that. Come here, catch a great lacrosse game, go to the Dark Horse, have a beer and a burger afterwards. Most of the guys on this team can't do that. They're too young. Got to go watch the Avalanche play. Big game tonight. 1:48 to go in the third quarter. Buffalo's leading this playoff game, which is where all of our attention is now. Near side, Zappala with it. He's done a great job playmaking around Colorado's offense. You need a great playmaker when you have such great scores like the Buffaloes do, and it's been clearly running through Zappala all game.
Zappala and Bogarts and the CU offense as a whole, for that matter, doing a great job of attacking these mid-wings. It's kind of an awkward spot for the defense because they don't know whether they should help from the top or the bottom. So you kind of put the defender on an island and then get some free shots. The backside.
Like right there. Zappala put his defender on an island, and just as you called, towards the backside, it's Snodgrass, who not only has a hat trick, but a natural hat trick, scoring 3 goals in this third period, giving Colorado once more a touchdown lead on the Rams. But again, it has been Snodgrass all quarter finding those soft spots, and a wonderful pass by the playmaking Zappala.
Snods is the beneficiary of his offensive initiators doing a lot of hard work, which is no slight at Snods. He's doing his job burying the ball. But as I was kind of talking about, when you initiate from those wings, it really throws the defense off, and they kind of lose their bearings. That's why you're seeing so much motion and open guys on the backside. CSU's totally confused by it. Snods killing it.
Buffaloes with 4 goals in the last 6 minutes. 1:11 to go in the quarter. Buffalo's looking to make it 15. Their goal was 20 for this one coming in, and they are still working on that pace. Right side, it's George Candle initiating from the wing, and he'll run around and bring it back way up top for Zach Johnson. Up top, Johnson carries it with right hand, stifles, lays a shot on net, and a beauty of a shot from Johnson, bouncing past Colhaney, and the Buffaloes make it 15 as they lead the Rams by 8 in this playoff action.
Little three-quarter skipper there from number 31 for CU, Zach Johnson. Different from your regular overhand bounce shot. Your hands are a little lower. You saw the goalie really drop down because they think it's going to just lay low. Is able to lift right over his shoulder. Great shot placement by Zach Johnson there, getting his hands free on the rollback.
So what turned out to be a great start to the third quarter for the Rams, showing their desperation and how bad they wanted this game, has turned into more of the same of what we saw in the first half, with the Buffaloes taking a commanding lead, and they take the ball here too. Quick pass inside, big check coming on Liam Montgomery, who's able to hold on to the ball. Passes over to a teammate on the right side, it's Nick Darrow. He's netted one. We'll give it back to Zappala instead. Buffaloes have last shot here if they want it. 25 left in the quarter. Quick play out in front. Darrow isn't able to catch the pass. Buffaloes are right on it, and a great hustle play by number 44 in white, Jack Carr. His engine is certainly high. Right side from the wing. 7 left on the clock. Buffalo's working towards the middle. Great catch and a quick throw at the net to end the quarter, and nothing doing there as the Buffaloes creating a lot of intensity and loose balls out in front of the Colorado State net, at least causing some commotion but not causing a goal there. 15-7 the score after 3. We'll be right back on Buff Sports Live. Back for the fourth and final quarter in the first round of the playoffs. Colorado leading Colorado State 15-7. Jake Shapiro with AJ Kalassi, former Colorado Buffaloes lacrosse player, won a championship here, lost one too. Sorry to do that to you. AJ, what have you noticed about this game thus far?
Really, CU is winning two important phases of the game outside of offense and defense. They're winning at the X. Christopher Toda and Broderick Vitale have done a great job of winning faceoffs at the X. And then also they're clearing and riding, which I consider one phase of the game as a whole. They're not turning the ball over and they're forcing turnovers. Those two things, those two phases of the games are really giving the upper hand and getting them more offensive possessions that are allowing this offense to get in rhythm.
Buffalo's working left to right. They're on offense in white and gold, or white, silver, and gold with some black splashed in. Colorado State trailing 15-7 in the fourth quarter of this playoff game. It has not been a great game for them. It's been a solid second half as they're trying to advance the ball across the timeline, and Colorado putting up that midfield attack. The goaltender with it for Colorado State loses it at midfield, and now an opportunity for Colorado as they come back the other way. It's Snodgrass carrying it. He had 3 goals last quarter. Quick shot, just goes wide. It'll stay with Colorado.
Looks like CSU made a goalie change. Now number 10, Joe Whitmore from Smoky Hill High School in at net for the Rams.
Got to try and do whatever you can to spark your team at this point. Buffalo's looking like they are trying to take an opportunity at this goaltender. Quick shot coming from the stick of Ben Willows from far out. He misses. It'll stay with Colorado. Left side, Buffaloes towards the net, and don't know how he does it. Don't know how he does it many of the time, but Brock Neubauer just on the dash is able to sneak one past the new goaltender, Joe Whitmore, coming from the left side, threw it far side, all in one motion, did it so smooth that it looked like he still had the ball as he was running with it behind the net. Well, he wasn't running with it behind the net. It was in the back of the net. That's a lot of talent there, AJ.
On you or the goal?
Oh, the goal. The goal, that's a lot of talent.
No, quite frankly, I was about to say, I don't know if there was a hole in the pipe or what, but I do not know how that got in there. He had no angle. He had no right putting that back of the net, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I believe Wayne Gretzky said that.
Michael Scott said that. Yeah. Colorado with the ball. Good time had by all in Boulder tonight with the Buffaloes leading 16-7. Big weekend of sports. Not only will there be a championship game in this lacrosse club division tomorrow between what looks like Colorado and Utah Valley State, but the spring game in Boulder for the football team annually held. First one under Mel Tucker will be at Folsom Field as a shot just goes wide coming from Zach Johnson. So big day of sports here in Boulder. And Buff Sports Live will be there covering all of it as we do, student-run organization. And that's what you're watching right now. If you think the production sucks, hey, maybe donate to our club. Willie Gettinger with the ball right now for the Colorado Buffaloes. To the near side, it is number 31, Zach Johnson. Buffaloes can use all of the 80-second shot clock. Time is more than their friend right now. It's their companion. And that shot goes, or the pass goes wide, and Buffaloes somehow keep it in, and they're on the ground right now. Buffaloes will lose it over and back, so Colorado State takes over possession with 12:03 to go in the fourth.
Also, don't forget about Game 7, Nuggets versus Spurs tomorrow night down at the Pepsi Center. Sure to be a fun one. Hopefully the Nuggies close that thing out and get a much-needed playoff series win for this young group.
Over former Colorado Buffalo Derek White, who's been spectacular for the San Antonio Spurs. You got to get the local tie in there. I know you're not a professional broadcaster, but that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, hey, I'm all Team Colorado all the way.
Exactly. How have you felt thus far? I haven't asked you about this. Colorado State with the ball, looking towards the front of the net. Shot and a save by Jackson Mitchell. He's been on his game tonight. But how have you felt about this? Because every time Derek hits a shot, I kind of get mad, and I'm like, yeah, you're my boy, Derek. Like, I was saying this the other day to a former Colorado basketball player. I'm like, if Spencer Dinwiddie hit a game-winning shot against the Nuggets to eliminate them from the playoffs, I think I'd be excited.
Maybe that's where we differ.
I'm always going to root for my guys, man.
I don't know personally. I don't have personal relationships with athletes as much as you do, just by the venue of my work. Oh, watch out.
Out of his net, Jackson Mitchell. Ball loose out in front. Colorado doing whatever they can to keep it out. I think they took a penalty there, and Colorado State Ram has gone down very hard. I think he took a knee from a Buffalo, and that is no fun. And that ambulance is not for the player. We don't call the police that quickly, but an ambulance driving up US 36. I think this guy's okay. Don't have a number on him. It's number 1, Dom Sanator.
Yeah, honestly, the first one, not totally sure. I guess it's kind of a defenseless player call, which is now in lacrosse similar to football. It's up to the ref's discretion. Second one, just pretty much unnecessary. Player's already down on the ground. Blake Sandman goes in for some extra, and he is paying for it. And as we've seen, CSU will capitalize on these man-down opportunities. Looks like CU is 2-man down, so have a 6-on-4. CSU is going to be in a box. If CSU lets the ball do the work here, they should have a great opportunity to score.
Well, you got to score on these, and it's a huge chance for Colorado State down 9. 2 1-minute penalties, one to number 5, Blake Sandman, the other to number 23, Jackson Mitchell, who, of course, cannot serve it because he is the goaltender. And a goal coming right there as it gets past Russell Riley, who had to take the net because of that goaltender, is out for Colorado in the form of Jackson Mitchell. So it's the 3rd man-up goal Colorado has, or 4th man-up goal Colorado has scored tonight. Half their goals have come from there, and the Buffaloes have to find a way to stay out of the box over the next 10-50, because if they do so, they're winning this game. If they don't, it's at least in jeopardy.
I truly think that goal was an errant pass where the goalie was just screened. No one caught it, and it just trickled right in. Regardless, CSU will take what they can get right now. If somehow they could get CU to keep drawing penalties and going man up, they could claw back in this thing with 10 minutes to go. It's been done before, but it's going to have to be executed well for it to occur.
Finally get the face-off. These teams getting a little testy here. It is a rivalry game. Rivalry goes past the football field, the football gridiron, and the basketball court. It goes to all walks of life between Colorado and Colorado State. And the Buffaloes able to take this off an infraction, and maybe they'll be able to kill some time here. 10:45 to go in the 4th. Buffaloes leading by 8, doubling Colorado State.
Quick note on the home Colorado athletes supporting them. The Broncos picked up Dalton Risner, with the second round. Right tackle from Kansas State. Should be a good talent. I believe he's out of Wiggins, Colorado, which is out in the Eastern Plain. Cool to see the Broncos get some in-state talent.
And cool to see Colorado get another goal. This time it's Jack Smith going 5-hole on the Colorado State goaltender, Joe Whitmore. He's 0 for 2 on the 2 shots faced thus far in the 4th quarter when that goaltending change happened. So Buffalo's now up 17-8, and they can ride it out. I think if you do the math with the amount of possessions Colorado should get, if they just wait, the Buffaloes are going to be fine. Like, all they have to do is eat all 80 seconds of the shot clock if they wanted to. Although Colorado State might get a little upset and testy if that's the way the Buffaloes are going to play it.
Yeah, it's kind of tough now because of shot clock. You can't sit on the ball like you used to be able to and then let the refs call a stall. All you really could do is eat the 80 seconds and then throw the ball in the corner and sub your guys on. It's kind of a kick in the face. You kind of want the team you're playing against to keep playing, but to your point, CU just needs to hold the ball here.
And another penalty coming against Colorado, but it will not matter because it's in the back of the net. Russell Riley's still the goaltender. So what happened there, AJ? Was the goaltender, does he have to sit on the side for longer? Was he ejected perhaps?
You know, that they each had minute penalties that were locked in. Coach Galvin may have just taken him out, realizing that he's probably going to play a game tomorrow, and in theory, they're probably going to play in the MCLA National Tournament. He's an aggressive goalie who gets out there. It's a rivalry game. He doesn't want his guy doing something stupid or getting hurt by the other team. looks like they're just going to roll with the new goalie, keep him fresh.
And Russell Riley has a lot of experience because last year I believe Colorado's starter went down very early, and Russell Riley was one of the goaltenders almost all year for Colorado. So
yeah, I want to say I covered 2 games, the Chapman game and the Concordia Irvine game, and he was the goalie for both of those. Not exactly sure when the switch happened, and it's always a good feeling as a coach to have a guy that's had some big game in season experience as your number 2, and your number 1's rocking it, kind of like the Avs are doing right now.
Christopher Tejada with the ball. First time we've seen him for the Buffaloes. Snodgrass carries it, and the Buffaloes can protect the ball. They are a man down here right now. Pass to the near side. It's picked up by Ben Paulitz. So not only time on their side right now, but they're on the penalty kill, so to speak, and just trying to eat as much clock as they can. Snodgrass on the run, protecting the ball with his left hand. Now switches back to the right hand, protecting the ball. Shoots from the left side. Stopped right from the stick and picked up by the Rams. It'll stay with Colorado, though. 12 left on the man advantage. With 9:17 to go in the fourth in this first round of playoff action, winner of this game takes on Utah Valley State in the championship tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Right here on this field at the foot of the Flatirons, just outside of, well, it's between Willville and the Coors Event Center. For those of you who have not been on campus in the last 20 years. Left side, spinning around, is Colorado, and collecting the ball is a fellow Buffalo teammate, and he'll throw it over to Nick Darrow. Far side, wasting time. That's what the Buffaloes can do. They've earned that. Zach Johnson throws it over towards Peter Bogard, who lays a shot on, but it goes wide, and Colorado State closest to it, so they will pick up the ball with 8:38 to go in the fourth. Rams carry it up the near side, and Colorado takes right back over on a bad pass by the Rams, and they cannot have empty possessions at this point. Jack Carr, he scored a couple tonight. We'll throw it over to Willie Gettinger, the junior from Gilman, originally from Denver, Colorado. And a bad pass again by Colorado State as they're bombing it away, and Buffalo's pick it off. Again, it's Jack Carr. A lot of traffic there for Jack Carr, but no problem. Near side, a cross-crease pass. Out in front, big hit laid on, and a good defensive stand by the Rams will at least force Colorado to retry and not have an opportunity to score there. That's a good infraction there if you're a Ram fan.
Yeah, loose ball push as Willie had gone with the BTB behind the back, already released out of his stick. Not a bad look there for Willie as your stick kind of has more angle from there and got the contact to put him on the ground.
Darrow shot, rebound picked up by Colorado. Gettinger right back at it, shot, save, rebound again, saved again by Joe Whitmore, who has put up the best goaltending 10 seconds there that we've seen from the Rams tonight. Not that the goaltending has really been the issue for the green and gold. Bringing the ball up, it's Jack Maloney. No phony baloney from him. He'll just pass it up this time, and they'll go up to the left side. Goal line extended, and Colorado State picks up on the wing. 7 minutes, we tick under. Some of these Rams perhaps playing their last collegiate lacrosse game. We salute them. As Brock Alfred carries it up, right back to Brock Alfred. Trying to get Colorado's defense in a tizzy. He'll throw it over to the middle of the field where the Rams will try to get some speed. They collect it. Shot. Saved by Russell Riley. His first of the game. 6:30 to go, and the Buffaloes fans are starting to feel it now. Darrow across the timeline. Patient. Gettinger. Gettinger once more. Angles to the near side. It is Jack Carr. We haven't seen any of Colorado's best couple attackers here in the fourth quarter. Buffaloes have earned that right. Quick shot out in front, saved. Buffaloes will get the rebound right back. And by that, I mean we have not seen Tyler Bogart at all. We've barely seen Curtis Zapala in the second half, and I don't think we've seen much of Brock Neubauer either.
Starting to see a lot of new numbers trickle in. Coach Galvin trying to get some of the guys who have put in a lot of hours at practice and maybe just haven't cracked that starting lineup, but get them some playing time and get them some meaningful minutes, get them in a little groove or rhythm. Because ultimately, you never know when someone could go down and someone has to bump up. All of a sudden, everyone moves up, and that just means another person's getting 10 more minutes a game, and those minutes could matter.
Tough physical sport, so you never know what can happen. 5:25 to go in the fourth. 17-9 the score. Buffaloes have commanded almost the entirety of this game. Rams in an all-out press right now. They will do whatever it takes to at least make it look reasonable at the end of the day, and some of those actions have forced some turnovers in there. It's Colorado taking advantage on a good defensive play by Cleveland McCarty.
CU's kind of betting on CSU letting their defensive pulls carry the ball over, and as we can see, they haven't been making good passes. CU ride-wise is locking off the short sticks and forcing the pulls to carry, and right now they're just not executing. Something CSU would have to work on in the offseason for some of these guys coming back. You want to see change next year.
And for those you wondering, it's not windy anymore. The wind has had no effect here in the second half. Storm blew over, quite literally. Left side, Colorado with the ball. It's Ryan Russell, I believe. He throws it over to the near side, and it's Jack Carr. Quick shot. Colorado State with the save, but Colorado retains possession. 35 left on the clock, 4:32 left on the game clock. Buffs left side. Crisscrossing, and where comes the applesauce? It'll pop over to the left wing. I think that's Brock Neubauer. First time we've seen him here in the fourth quarter. Peter Bogard working off the right wing. He's got a shot opportunity here. Throws it low. Rebounds off of the knee of the Colorado State goaltender all the way to midfield. And, lacrosse balls are pretty hard. That shot came in pretty fast. And for how far that deflected, I can tell you that did not feel good for the Colorado State goaltender.
Good little rip there. Your ideal kind of step-down shooting spot is 12 to 13 yards, right around there. That's kind of your range for most of these college guys to get off their hard shots, anywhere from around 85 to 90 miles an hour. That was a rip right there.
And Buffaloes keep possession. 57 left on the shot, 3:40 to go on the game. Buffaloes looking for goal number 18, or more so looking to just burn this clock. On offense, game has come more to a standstill here as of late. Left side shot and goes wide off the bounce, and Buffalo's closest to it once more.
Air's kind of been taken out of this game these last kind of minutes. It seems everyone's kind of on the same page. Obviously, people are still playing, but for more or less, this game is done, and crowd's pretty quiet. Benches are quiet. CU looking to advance tomorrow to take on Utah Valley State in the championship.
Zach Johnson hesitated, had an opportunity as a shot. Instead, he pops it around to the left side, and the shot came from Brock Neubauer, save made by Colorado State. 3 to go. Buff still chatting it up on defense, and a pass goes off the face of Kyle Robentine from his teammate. That doesn't sound fun either. Derek Delhaney carries the ball. Stopped by 2 Colorado defenders. Buffaloes all over the place. It seemed like there's 8 more Buffaloes on the field than Rams tonight. Everywhere the Rams go, the Buffaloes are first. I think that's a penalty in lacrosse. Doesn't sound like you can have 8 more guys than the other team. That's not fair.
No, too many men is definitely a disadvantage or an advantage for a team and should be incurred as a penalty.
I don't know how John Galvin's doing it then. Buffaloes are everywhere, man.
He's a wizard.
Yeah.
He works the refs pretty well. It's kind of one of those aspects of coaching that Bill Tierney's so great at, and Bill Belichick and other notable coaches.
But you said it yourself. The Buffs have been first on all of the loose balls tonight, or at least 80% of them, and they have forced a lot of loose balls. And every change that we've seen made whether it's from just the midfield liner on or guys coming on or off. Every time the white shirts are out before the green shirts. And that is such a huge advantage. One step is all you need in any sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something we drilled back in the day and something I can tell you they drill all the time. CU with a good double team on the ride there. 53 for CSU with the ride, my apologies. CU tries to split the double. But that's one thing John Galvin loves is his operations and his flow and controlling those things. He is so efficient at having his team sub, and they're just in succinct.
Ooh, that's not fun. Shot goes down low, and Liam Montgomery was already on the ground, so it goes right into his body. He's able to make the save, and he'll limp off the field.
As we always used to say, don't rub it.
Don't.
You got to be tough out there.
Mitchell Scott trying to carry the ball up, and we're seeing CSU get ultra physical with 92 seconds. Referee says something to their bench.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on right now. Looks like the ref stopped it to try to talk to the table, get the clock synced up, and really for him, he's like, let's just get this last minute and 30 seconds over here. But it's gotten a little chaotic as sticks start to fly at the end of games when teams are kind of toasted. It can get a little dangerous, so hopefully they keep things in check here.
7-second difference between shot and game clocks. Buffalo's up by 8, 17-9. Taking a couple checks, it's Darren Slorish. First time we've seen him tonight.
Yeah, you're starting to see the body sizes are dwindling and getting smaller as these younger guys come in. You spend a little less time in the weight room. That's how you kind of know these younger guys are playing.
They do even lift bro still, though. Give him some credit. Peter Bogard. Seen a lot of opportunities for Zach Johnson tonight. Loose ball picked up by Colorado. A shot and a late goal to add on some more insurance, and he got decked after the play. Seems to be okay. That was Nick Darrow scoring once more. Another goal, multi-goal game for Nick Darrow, and the Buffaloes lead by 9 with 37 seconds left. They'll take on Utah Valley State tomorrow in the championship game here in Boulder, Colorado. That's at 4 p.m., and it will be broadcasted on Buff Sports Live. It will be. There's the EP, Mitch Sanchez.
See if anybody can help us out.
Okay. Do you want me to say that on the broadcast? If you're around, you might need to help out the broadcast a little bit tomorrow. We're a little stretched thin tomorrow.
Quick note on the topic of D1 and kind of the lifting conversation. I know it's a small oversight, but CU in the past couple years with the development of the Champion Center has been able to actually lift in the Dow Ward and I believe get training table after practice. So just like a D1 team does, you go from practice to lift or lift to practice, however coach prefers it. But that's kind of been a huge step for them. That way you don't have to wake up 5:30 a.m. in the morning. You can just go right after practice. You're in a team unit, and you have the best facility at hand that the D1 resources give you. It's nice to kind of piggyback off that.
4 seconds left. The team starts the countdown, and that'll be the end of it. Buffs win. Buffs win here in the first round of the playoffs. They'll take on Utah Valley State tomorrow in the championship as their goals are starting to come clearer in division and closer to the truth. The Buffaloes with a great game. They came out quick against the Colorado State Rams and really had control of this the whole time, AJ.
Yeah, CU really, from the first whistle, they never really looked back. Got up on, I believe, 4-1 lead, 5-1 lead, and from there, it was kind of just coasting throughout the end. They'll look to build off and carry that momentum in their game tomorrow and take that, whatever they can, into the MCLA National Tournament.
He's AJ Colassi, former Colorado Buffalo champion, as this program has had a great storied history in college club lacrosse. They'll see if they can add a little bit of a banner to their resume tomorrow. No short time and no little bit of a deal for the Buffaloes. If they're able to pick that one up tomorrow, it will be a big deal for everyone involved in this program. So Colorado Buffaloes win 18-9 tonight in the first round of these playoffs, and they do have that championship game tomorrow. This has been Buff Sports Live broadcast of the game. Thanks for tuning in from our hearts. It's Mitchell Sanchez and Jake Shapiro producing all these games, and I'm happy to be here, and we're happy that you go home happy as Colorado fans. So Buffs win once more. 18-9 is the final, and we'll talk to you very soon.